I'm almost back to the tumbleweed haircut, but it's more sophisticated now because I've got this sweater. So yeah, people will take me seriously, I guess. So the topic this week or today, I guess, is that I'm kind of burnt out, and it all started in the psych ward when I started reading a lot of books, and I started to gain the appreciation for books that I should have had for like years, but I don't know. It took being like completely locked up to actually realize that, which says something about how addictive all our social media stuff is. The thing I realized is like books just have so much more dense information, so much better information than like a guy talking on YouTube does. Like why would you trust a 21-year-old with like no formal education just saying random nonsense on YouTube? That I don't know. I had such like a big ego before about everything I was saying being like super impactful and useful to a ton of people that was maybe fueled by a lot of comments where people are like, "Oh, your perspective is so new and refreshing and changing everything." But I don't know. I don't. After reading all these books, it's like my perspective really isn't that new. And yeah, I also just slowed down a lot because of reading more and stopped making sporadic plans and thinking in um, big future events that might happen pertaining to like organizing a ton of people and having a hiring agency and all kinds of stuff like that. I was reading over my forum the other day on GitHub, and someone else started a new forum actually. And I don't know, a lot of the people there were just like annoying me. Like, I hate to say that, I hate to criticize people, but there's someone just having like an argument about Nietzsche or some shit like the other day on the forum, and it was like, do I really want to spend my precious like early 20s while I'm in college organizing like a bunch of internet nerds who are all defending their egos about XYZ random philosophy bullshit? Or I don't know, it's yeah. I do plan on going ahead of the forum eventually, but it's like it just hit me all of a sudden like how much work is actually going to be required to like organize and moderate a kind of thing like that. And there are a lot of really cool people that would benefit a lot from that, but also there are a lot of like really annoying. I don't know. It's just like reinventing university basically, like information exchange for a bunch of kids our age. It could really help to have people teaching each other things, and the idea is still kind of valuable to me, but it's like I don't know. I don't even feel very qualified in like Vim, which is like my best thing. The problem with like reading, this happened to me in Wisconsin before too. I read Cal Newport's Deep Work. It makes you kind of like, me at least, not depressed, but like ennui about my current abilities, because it's like, damn, I'm not even close to some of the people out there. And it's also like, I was talking to my dad about this a little while ago. Feeling like you need to contribute something new to be meaningful to the progression of humanity. He was talking about classic students like writing like their entire work, their entire master's degree. What are those called when you have like a write up at the end of something, a dissertation or something like that. I'm completely blanking on the official term, but writing like a whole paper about a specific thing in classics and then realizing it was like a footnote of like some old like German textbook. And it's the same thing with like you could work your whole life and then like come up with like maybe a tenth of like what Leonard Euler did for math, just because the people like the utter pyramid of like work, like there are chads that did 99% of the work and everyone else is kind of like just slumming it around, you know. And it's like I realized that in order to go that next mile, someone else gave me a comment that really struck me. It was like, yeah, you maybe acknowledged you're like better than most people at Vim now, but going to the next level, moving to Silicon Valley or trying to next level something in Vim is like going to the Olympics. You know, it's like the people there are just so much more elite. Like the authors of Cocoon or Helix, it's just like it's insane. And I was thinking so long in like speculative terms about what my future would look like, And I'm now realizing that like the amount of work it requires to do anything cool is just like staggering. And I have to switch mindsets into one where I enjoy the in the moment work rather than doing it for the final output, or else it's going to be very difficult to continue doing things. And this is a big problem in software, actually. A lot of people talk about it. My friend told me about this, especially because software, it's hard to immediately get an output. Like on a very long project, especially if you're a junior developer, you're gonna run into constantly like problems like reading docs and misunderstanding things and bugs. It's like an absolute slog, and it goes on and on and on and on. And you can like have a great vision in your head, and it'll take like years to actually realize it into reality. And it's very easy to get burnt out because you can spend like 3 weeks on like some kind of code structural change and have literally no like physical tangible output. And then you just get like hella burnt out and depressed because it's like, man, I just have so much to go. Your brain doesn't feel like it's gaining traction, is what my friend said. It's like you need kind of emotional way markers to enjoy each little step of the process, or else you're going to get like absolutely destroyed by your own emotions, because your brain's going to be like, okay, we're doing literally nothing here. Why are we doing this? We have to get back to eating candy and watching TV or whatever short-term rewarding thing. And YouTube worked for the longest time for me because it's like a daily, like you get feedback in the form of like comments and likes and like a little trickle of money from daddy YouTube. And it's just like you see numbers going up every day. So it's like an easy thing to follow, especially if you're like obsessive or whatever. And whatever mental condition we all secretly have. And I don't know. But yeah, it's just like a trickle of progress going up. And I want to keep posting, but I'm just a little like, after reading all that stuff and like realizing that Cal Newport and a bunch of other like really smart creative people have YouTube channels. Wow, that was egotistical. It's just like, what does my contribution even matter to the sphere of YouTube? There's just like so much information on YouTube already that people should just be reading books and not watching YouTube. Like, I feel bad for just contributing to the absolute torrent of information on there, but I don't know. That's why I also like told other people to make YouTube channels, so that someone eventually can fill that authenticity gap I had for a while. I mean, I don't want to leave YouTube, I don't think. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling like a little bit tired of it all. It's just like tired of the low quality information I feel like I've been outputting, but I don't know. Maybe it's unique, maybe it's different just to you. Yeah. I'll keep documenting the process probably. What's it like to be burnt out and then like to try to not get burnt out again? I think that's a kind of interesting, because I'm not like, I don't know, I'm optimistic for the future. Like the worst thing that happens to me when I get burnt out is, and this happened in Wisconsin too, I just like I default to habits that like distract me from my lack of progress, which for most people might be watching like TV or something, but I just end up listening to a bunch of audiobooks and like sleeping slightly more. And so it's really not that bad. And then like slowly I get more and more enthused about different projects again. And yeah, so I don't know. It's not terrible by any means. It's the natural flow of things. But yeah, I guess I'll try to keep you posted on it. I am just feeling a little bit like the quality of the information I put out is just not that good compared to like what books are out there to read. But yeah, I'll catch you next time.